Sergeant Stepdad here. I've been thinking, due to a friend of mine that I only contact through text and emails and stuff like that. And it involves enlisting into a branch of the military. I'm not going to give out the name of this individual or what's going on, but my instructions to this individual, which is what I recommend for everyone, that you study for the ASVAB, and take take tests that are fairly accurate. Um, that way you can have an idea of how well you're doing. Because if you have a specific job you want to do in the military, you probably should look up what the scores you need for that specific job. That way you can study and practice and get to it rather than end up in something you don't want to do. And what I would recommend having an idea of what kind of job you want to do, because when I joined, I really didn't have a job. I just wanted to, in mind, I just wanted to serve. And I, being 17 at that time, and being offered a EOD, and if you don't know what EOD is, it's explosive ordnance disposal, which was a really dangerous job about that time due to roadside bombs and stuff like that. I wasn't so sure about it. I ended up taking, at the time it was labeled 71 Lima, then it was changed to 42 Lima, then it was changed to, and then in the end, which those were administrative specialist positions. They combined that with the human resources, which was the 42 Alpha, and then I ended up now being a 31 Echo, which is internment resettlement, but it's been dubbed cage kicker by a lot of people. But yes, I could have actually done a lot more if I had certain scores. I mean, back when I joined, they really didn't tell us all our scores, but they just gave us a list of jobs. And I think due to the fact that at that point there were still people signing up to serve our country due to September 11th. I mean, it was 2004, so roughly 3 years later. But what's I've been asked some questions on what I think is the best course of action when it comes to certain issues like criminal history, mental history, and that kind of stuff. I recommended being honest, but and actually, if you're asked if you've suffered from anything or have criminal history, just be honest, because a lot of people in the army will show you respect for being honest about some of the issues you have suffered in life. I mean, if you had to end up taking some counseling because of your home situation, having parents that are not really good parents or kind of verbally abusive, you and that'd be something to be honest about. And like say they'll definitely ask about criminal background history, but if you say I if you admit that yes you used to sell drugs or something, they when they ask you and it's not in your history, they'll respect you, and I believe that in that instance where you're trying to get out of that situation, you're more than likely will that background will be waived unless you try to do it inside the military. But if say if you don't mention something because they didn't ask you and they find it later, they may ask you about it. You be honest. I forgot to mention it, but if you try to continuously hide it, that's gonna hurt you more in the long run. Now I know there's been issues with cases of depression. Um, if you suffer a severe depression where you need medication, that's maybe a deal breaker no matter what. But I think if say you may have had someone diagnosed you with depression, but you do not suffer it, you're not on medication for it, then you might be able to continue. I can't guarantee it. But as long as you're upfront about certain things, it should help you actually get in. I mean, those if you pretty much have just gotten through your high school, you're not gonna have much of a history that to go over with. And me personally, and I know there's some out there, you could be a former drug dealer and you're trying to make a better life for yourself. We're not gonna degrade you for that. We're gonna have respect for you because you're trying to make a better life for you. And this individual I know has been suffering from some issues that they're concerned about, and just talking with your recruiter, they'll be able to help you through stuff. Identify things if you really have questions. Um, you can either text them. You can call them, text them, or email them, and they'll respond to you as soon as they can. I mean, my friend sent an email to one, within a couple hours, received a response. I know there's some things that, as of right now, the military will not allow you in for, and that I'm going to put it this way: it's more like mental defects that would be a hindrance. I mean, like autism. Even if you have a mild case, I mean, really mild, where it used to be called Asperger's, they would not let you in. They will not let you in. And there's times that I know there's people that have probably never been diagnosed with it that probably do have it that have served. But the main things I want you to take away is be honest. If asked about something you've left out, be honest about it when they ask about it, and study to make sure you get the job you want to have in the military. And make sure if you're going to go active duty, have a plan to have a so you can have a job lined up when you get out to make it easier. I'm gonna admit I know I am a reservist. I have a little bit of experience of what they go through since I went directly from high school to a deployment, then home, and I had to find a job. I did not plan, but I'm doing okay now, and I'm gonna try to do my best to continue to help individuals. I mean, I've actually been helping my fellow soldier that just went from active duty and then decided to go into the reserves because they were just struggling a bit. I've been working with helping them make sure to stay in a position where they're going to be okay and not end up homeless and losing their family. I will see you next time.